Welcome back. My intro is becoming longer and longer every video. Eventually the entire video will just be my intro. Before we kick it off, I'm Dave and this channel is dedicated to giving you no bullshit, novel dating advice for the modern man. And I have a free PDF in the description so you can download that right now because I'm writing a book. So if you download that, I'll be able to email you later on. So this video is, well, what we're doing was we're playing off online dating apps, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Coffee and Bagel, whatever, Plenty of Fish versus Cold Approach. I'm going to compare the two, and I want to premise it by saying that if you are a good-looking guy, and you would definitely do well on these apps, definitely. But when you go through and you break it down, how many people are actually on these apps? Not all girls are on the apps. Some of the best girls don't need a dating app. When you think about it, a girl that is the highest quality, she's not really on a dating app, is she? She has a large circle of friends. She's quite popular. She has family to go. Well-adjusted girl. She's well-adjusted. She has family, friends. She's got social engagements where she can meet guys. She's probably educated and has a whole group of friends that she can go out with. She can go to nightclubs, etc., things like that. And if you're a really good-looking guy, you're going to get some success on these apps. But if you're a good-looking guy and you have game, you can do cold approach and you are unstoppable. You are absolutely unstoppable. I actually bumped into two guys today that clearly were doing a bit of day game. One of you guys subscribed. Hey guy, how you going? They had the leather jackets on and they were practicing the London day game model. And I think in the modern era, I'm not from the modern era, I've been around for a very long time. I think the London day game model, the basic London day game model, has totally been debunked as this pseudo-sciencey false way to do game. And I just want to say that these two guys that I saw today, they had the leather jackets on, you know, they didn't have the boots on, but they were pretty much all the way there. And these guys were two good-looking guys using the wrong ideology. If they had good cold approach and they were doing it the right way, good cold approach, damn, these guys would be unstoppable. So that if you're a good-looking guy, you're going to get success on the apps, but you're going to get 10 times better results if you learn cold approach and learn it properly. Learn proper cold approach, how to do it properly, not this fake pseudoscience-y way, which I've covered many times on this channel, many times. Now, online dating, Tinder, etc., things like that, I can't use it. I'm 40 years old. I cannot use online dating. Why? Because, well, the types of girls that I'm attracted to are not going to swipe right on me. If I put 40 on Tinder or one of these dating apps, and I'm only really going to get girls that are like 40 or 35, maybe 30 if I'm absolutely lucky. The best looking girls are not necessarily going to go for a 40-year-old guy unless they're looking for money. So recently, I want to tell you guys my little experiment that I'm running at the moment. I'm about 48 hours into an experiment, and recently, I'm sure you're all aware that most countries you can't really fly around at the moment. I'm trapped. I'm trapped in not only Sydney, but I'm trapped in New South Wales. I can't go to Queensland, I can't go to Victoria, I can't even leave my state. And if you're in London, some people over there, they're allowed to fly around. Even people in America, they're allowed to fly around. But many countries, you're trapped. You're pretty much trapped. So what I've done, and this is something that you guys can try, is I've altered my age. I'm 25 on Tinder, and I've paid to change my location. And so I'm picking different locations outside of the city in country towns, hoping that there will be girls under 25 that are reasonably attractive that might match with me in these country towns, hoping that because it's a lower socioeconomic status area, and hopefully there's maybe a shortage of quality men in certain areas out in the country. And what I've done is I've optimized my Tinder profile to differentiate myself from the local guys. Local guys are usually wearing cowboy hats, they're doing a construction job, they're driving a ute, football players, etc. That's kind of the template of what type of guy is out in the country. Riding horses, etc., things like that, dirt bikes. But I'm wearing a suit and traveling around, so I'm a different type of guy to differentiate myself. Maybe it's the provider, who knows, whatever you want to read into that, but the goal is to differentiate myself from the guys outside of the CBD. And I'm picking cities, or cities, I wouldn't call them cities, they're towns, and the radius is large, and then swipe until I run out, and then swipe, and picking country towns. And I'm running an experiment. I'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but that's something that I'm trying at the moment. But if you are not when you get to my age and look at me, I'm not the best looking guy, obviously. I'm not going to get any quality matches, especially in the city. There's a lot of guys that hit the gym, they have like an 8-pack. They're super good looking guys, 25 years old, 6'4", 6'5", tall. And some of them are born into money too, so they have money, they're the full package. And on these dating apps, it's purely visual. So the girl just looks visually at you and goes, okay, well, right or left, based on your looks. And it's an instant, that's how it works. It's very visual on these dating apps. So they don't get to hear your personality, they don't really get to know you at all. It's just, okay, well, this guy's got an 8-pack and he's 6'5", that's what I'm looking for. And it's also the race too. So for instance, if you're a brown or an Asian guy and you're looking for a different type of demographic, you're going to struggle as well, because if they're looking for a specific type of guy and you don't meet what they're looking for, you're not going to get any matches. So online dating is really only, it's purely visual. It is almost as bad as the nightclubs. In the nightclubs, you can actually speak to people and get involved and show some sort of personality. But online dating is really only for the good-looking people. Really, let's just be realistic here. And so it's basically Pareto's law, which is the 80-20 rule. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but how it works is 20% of guys will date 80% of the women. And generally the top 20% best looking women will be in that 20% that of the guys will date all of the best girls, and including the 80%, and the bottom 20% of girls that no one really wants. That sounds crude, but no one really wants that bottom 20% of girls. They will be dating the 80% of guys that the 20% of girls don't want, if that makes any sense. So therefore, if you're in the bottom 80% of guys, you have very low chances on these dating apps. So, and me, looks-wise, I'm obviously in the bottom 80% of the 80%. I'm not the best looking guy. I'm about 40 years old. I have a few hip replacements, not a very good looking guy. And so therefore I don't get any decent matches. So, to make up for that, I need to find out different ways to overcome this dating adversity, and cold approach is that hack. And so what I do is I obviously date girls that are under 25 and I'm 40. That's in 100% through cold approach. And so my suggestion to you guys out there that are listening to this is that if you're really good looking, you should be learning cold approach, because not all of the best girls are on these dating apps. And if you are not in the top 20% of good looking guys, you should not be using these apps at all. And if you are a good looking guy that gets some matches here, fair enough, play around for a little bit. If you learnt cold approach, you would be an absolute weapon, and you'll have the choice of the best looking girls you could possibly get your hands on with good cold approach. It will just open up the entire world to you. And if you're not the best looking guy, you're not going to get any matches on Tinder. So you might, on Tinder, Hinge, whatever, Bumble, you might as well learn cold approach, and then you will have access to girls way above your sexual marketplace value. And that's my advice to you guys out there. So the short and the long of it is that these dating apps are funded by men joining up, like what I just did now, because I can't travel abroad. Another reason why I paid to change my location, it's called a passport, change where your location is and swipe in different locations, is the only reason you should use one of these apps is if you're going to travel. So what you do is change your location to whatever city you're going to go to. Just say you're going to go to Colombia as an example. You move your passport, your profile to that city, and then you start swiping and gaining contacts in that city, and then you gather all those numbers. It's called pipelining. You make sure that you have a certain amount of numbers and contacts in the city before you arrive, because it does take a while to build up your cold approach and your numbers and your network. But if you are staying in the same city, well, cold approach is literally the only way. And especially at the moment when everything's shut down and the clubs aren't working, cold approach is the solution to all of your dating problems. I promise you that right now. Cold approach is the hack. It is the solution, and it opens up the entire world to you, even in this Armageddon situation that we find ourselves in. Don't just sit at home if you're one of those guys in the bottom 80% of good looking, of average looking guys or unattractive. You have to learn cold approach, or you will not reach your full potential in dating. And that's the message today. Stop funding these dating apps. And if you're one of the good looking guys at the top, which I've already mentioned, not all the best looking girls and the highest quality girls are on these apps. So if you're spending all of your time swiping right on Tinder, you're missing out. The entire world is out there, and you're missing out on it by spending it on these apps. Learn some cold approach. Stick around on this channel. I'm going to be pumping out a lot more information as time goes on. I promise you that right now. I'll see you guys in the next video.